Most families that do not allow the assets of the house to work for them are already disadvantaged. If you're a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, and the Bible says that your wife is your helper, what does that mean? That there's a quantum of the resource that will build your life that is in you, but the rest of it is hidden in that woman. Because if you were complete, you will not need a helper. It's simple logic. I like real conversation. I don't like grammar. I like practical. I'm a scientist. My first degree is in chemistry. And I've spent the last 30 years building a manufacturing group. So I deal with real things. I don't deal with imaginary stuff. I like business plans to be real for me. I want to see how. Where does it end? Show me the money. Yeah. So at the end of the day, let's know what we're doing and where we're going and how we're getting there. So it's simple, common sense. But God always speaks in simple language. He's a straight shooter. We complicate his language. I'm a man. I have a wife. Why? The Bible says it is not good for a man to be alone. Why? He can't do it on his own. He's incomplete. He's incompetent by himself. He's unable to achieve the purpose of God without the other parts. When God created the man, he looked at him and knew that he wasn't complete. He knew that what was necessary for him to be completed, he had to now produce after he had finished the man. And he put that in the woman. So the wise man nurtures his asset so that the asset can deploy the hidden talents for his benefit. So when a man has wisdom, he will nurture his wife, encourage, help her to be everything that God has called her to be. Why? His blessing is hidden in her manifestation. That is the truth. You know, the biggest gift of my life is my husband. A good man. A decent man with understanding. A wise man. He married an ambitious young woman who wanted to make something of her life. But even then, there's no way he could ever have figured where she was going to get to. That's the truth. I started my furniture manufacturing company, so he knew I wanted to get somewhere. I had 28 men working for me the day I got married on my 28th birthday. So he could see my ambition and my drive. It looked like I was a girl that was going to make some money because I was making money. But there is no way, 29 years, it'll be 29 years December that we've been married. There is no way he could see 29 years ahead. The best he could imagine is that I would make a success of my manufacturing attempts. But he could never know the extent to which, in the course of doing that, the Lord will use the same talents and following his word, following his values, sticking to his values and his word, in the course of building the manufacturing good, that there's a time and a season that Nigeria in itself will change, and governance and values and ethics will become important. And the things he taught me to do for the business will now become the asset that opens a wide door before me to move into a corporate line along the path of still building my business school. And therefore, so I sit on this body, I sit on that body, both nationally and internationally. But that wasn't the plan. That I couldn't even have imagined it. So my husband had to have the capacity to grow as the husband of me in his ability to continue to encourage, to nurture, to support, and yet find the grace to be proud and confident and encouraging without competition in our home. That takes understanding. So when I say I'm married to a grace man, I'm not joking. Because you really have to get to the point where you understand the will of God, the purpose of God, and the hand of God enough to understand that this is not sent against me. This is sent for me. What did you call my name here today? Ibukun Awosika. Who is Awosika? Is it my father's name? Do you know my father's name? Who sent me to school? Oh. If you think anything of me, when you meet my husband, what will you think? So I can only bring him honor. I don't want to get to Proverbs 31 woman because I know many women hate her for many reasons. Because they think she's their problem in many ways. So I'm talking real life now. But in reality, if you go and read it, the Bible says that her husband is honored at the gate. Why? Because the resources that in expressing herself, she's able to generate, the things that she's able to do in being all of herself, brings honor to her husband and her household. Think for 1 minute. Even if you think there's nothing to the wife, because some of you are probably thinking, no, I'm the man and I'm this. Good. Nobody is contesting. The order of God is clear. But the development of a nation requires every asset to deploy. And to deploy every asset, we need every man to have understanding. Because if you want your daughters, don't forget, when we talk about women, we're not talking about some strangers. We're not talking about the woman next door, the woman on the street, or the woman that works for you in the office. We're talking about your daughter. Sure, you have a daughter that you love. It's her future we're talking about. Sure, you have a niece that you think is so lovely. I love my sister's daughter. It's what's going to become of her that we're talking about. It's your sister that you grew up with, your father sacrificed to send her to school. It's what her husband can do to her because of lack of understanding that you also do to other women or to your wife every day. For the sake of the nation, we need every asset at work, male and female.